If you're looking for a camera that won't break the bank but is still a great camera, specifically if your bank would be broken if you spent more than $500, I've got a camera for you. And it's the Canon 5D Mark III, which is probably a camera that you've not thought about because it was released in 2012, which is more than a decade ago. But for all you spec lovers, here is a quick rundown of the specs in this beast of a camera. It's a full-frame camera with 23.3 megapixels, 61 autofocus points, dual card slots, and weather sealing. It became a wedding photography staple when it was released because of its weather sealing, its great autofocus, dual card slots, and the other one is that it had silent shooting, which it's not completely silent because it's a DSLR, but it's pretty dapper and quiet. But this camera is far from new. How does it stack up today, and would I recommend someone purchasing it today in 2024, 2025? The answer is yes, I would. And I can say that wholeheartedly because I still use this camera today professionally, and I also know other professional photographers in my area who still use this camera today. Now, am I saying that everyone needs to go buy a 5D Mark III tomorrow? No, it's not for everybody because, again, it is 12 plus years old at this point. But if you're someone who's looking to upgrade from a crop body or an APS-C sensor to full frame, or here's another one, if you're a beginner who is looking to buy their first camera, this camera is a great camera to get started with because of all of those pro features that I mentioned. And here's the really cool thing, you can buy it used now for right around $400 or $500. So it's a great deal, and I would definitely recommend it because brand new when this sucker first came out, it was about $3,500. Basically, the 5D line you can think of now of the R5 line, the R5 Mark II. This has been the 5 series. It has literally been Canon's second highest quality spec-packed camera, second only to the 1DX line and the R1 line. So yeah, it's still a good camera today in 2024. Now there are a few downsides to this camera now that it is 12 plus years old. So it is a DSLR, which obviously means that it's not mirrorless. And basically what that means in this case is you don't have access to some of the more intelligent features for autofocus tracking, like eye tracking or animal tracking or face detect. That technology is basically only available with mirrorless cameras, but I can say this with full certainty, the autofocus in this camera is really good, even if you're using continuous, which Canon calls that AI servo. The autofocus in this camera is very good. It's very snappy, it's very quick. Now, is it as quick as maybe an R5 Mark II, which is brand new? No, but it's still a very capable camera, and I know that you can produce great results with it because I still continue to produce great. What is great? What is a good photo? I still think I take good photos with this camera 12 plus years later. Again, to have all the features that Canon packed into their number 2, their pro level body, 12 years ago for $500 is quite the steal. It really is. It's a great camera, and if you purchase this camera, I don't think you'll be disappointed. Now, this is the Canon version. I can only speak to the Canon versions, but I know Nikon has a version that was their number 2. I'm not that well versed with their numbering system. It's a D800 or somewhere along those lines. Those cameras are still great, people. They're great cameras. So if you're someone who's looking for that $500 or so mark to purchase a camera, you'll be safe purchasing one of these older used DSLRs. They've still got a lot of life left, and they can produce great results. So obviously they're not building this camera or making this camera new anymore. I'm sure Canon probably will still service and refurb them, but where can you buy this camera? I would always recommend buying used gear from places that are reputable like KEH or MPB, or if you're gonna go the eBay route, make sure that you're getting it from like a camera store, eBay store. Just be leery of buying from Joe Blow 72 who's never sold cameras before. You may have a great camera, but if you're spending your hard-earned money somewhere, I would suggest spending it with a reputable source like KEA. I think they have a 180-day guarantee, so like if you don't like the camera or it doesn't perform the way that you thought it would, you can send it back. So this is less than 500 bucks, but if you're someone who wants to spend just a little bit more, I have another video where I talk about the Canon EOS R, which is another camera that I still own. You can have it for about 1,100 bucks. I'll link it somewhere here if you want to check that out. Otherwise, I would just ask that you stick around and subscribe if that's something that you'd like to do and maybe see more from me in the future. You don't have to. That's completely up to you. Maybe I've not said anything to make you subscribe or worthy of you subscribing too. But again, that option's there. It's a little red button. You can click it on your way out. And with that, keep shooting, and we'll catch you guys in the next one. I don't know, dude. There's just something about the Canon cameras, too. They fit really well in my hand. I love the deep well. I don't even have big hands, but Canon cameras just, the ergonomics, man, they feel good. Some people think they're too big. Some people think they're too heavy, but I don't know. I'm used to them, and I like them. But if you're spending your hard-earned money somewhere online, I would like to